Shattering Reality. I awaken to shadows stirring, specters slithering across my bedroom ceiling. My pulse quickens, I squeeze my eyes shut and count slowly to 10, chanting the coping strategies my doctor recited. Deep breath in, hold tight, exhale the darkness. The monsters above melt back into cracks and plaster when I open my eyes. Crisis averted. For now, morning light filters through dusty windows, casting everything in a haze. I blink hard several times, adjusting sight. My home appears only half there anymore, with washed-out colors bleeding together. I rummage the fridge for nourishment, only to find fuzzy gray shapes, unidentifiable, inedible. When did I last manage proper grocery shopping? Time and tasks blur hazily too. The clock display reads 11:34 a.m. or maybe 5:46 p.m. Impossible to trust perception when the passing hours and minutes randomly scramble reality and play tricks resetting world order. Schizophrenia, they diagnose this maddening glitch in my circuitry that disrupts logic and hijacks sanity. I grab my wallet and keys to hit the pharmacy for my antipsychotic pills, essential to keep dark, chaotic forces caged inside my imagination rather than unleashed disastrously. Glancing in the smudged hallway mirror, I was startled to see a stranger's face staring back, sallow complexion, nervous eyes, scraggly hair shooting manically in all directions. The distorted image makes me shudder. Quickly, I look away before the apparition devours me whole. Stepping outside, I'm blinded by scorching sunlight one moment, then find myself abruptly on rain-soaked streets the next. Pedestrians wear t-shirts under sunny rays that immediately shift into thick winter coats when the deluge starts. Clearly, my perceptions still scramble to catch up with my actual surroundings. I fight panic rising as my precarious mental footing slips ever more. Approaching the pharmacy counter, words tumble out, requesting my antipsychotic prescription refill to silence the attacking inner demons. But the clerk only frowned, confused, and asked what I needed again. My requests sound garbled, and language centers malfunctioning. I gestured helplessly at the shelves behind me, hoping she understood. Mercifully she does, producing the correct vials and allowing me to swallow control again temporarily. Exiting the sidewalk, I blinked against violently swirling colors and misplaced shadows dancing mockingly around me. A passing businessman's polished shoes appear clad in high heels one moment, blood-soaked bandages the next. A child licking ice cream transforms into a horned red creature, flickering its tongue obscenely. I stagger towards a bench, fighting these assaults from my personal underworld gates flung open. Woozily looking up through the mental fog, I notice an older woman smiling kindly down at me. Her bright yellow puffer jacket seemed to glow with ethereal sunshine, piercing the darkness and threatening to wholly swallow me. "May I join you here?" she asks gently. I nod hesitantly. Usually I avoid public interactions, fearing my hallucinations might betray my sanity, but her luminous aura exudes calming energy, so I make space on the damp bench. "Rough waters out there today, eh, son?" She gestures vaguely around us, though the skies have somehow cleared again to placid blue. At the same time, villagers laugh breezily while strolling through the summery park. I clear my throat nervously, scarcely able to meet her knowing gaze, surely recognizing madness brewing behind my twitchy demeanor. We all have battles aimed to sink us, days barely keeping heads above crushing tides. She continues introspectively, yet also hidden oases if we but know where to seek. From her oversized purse, the woman produces a slightly squashed peanut butter and jelly sandwich, pressing it gently into my trembling hands. The tangible sensations, smooth bread crinkling in my grip, sticky sweet, nutty aroma hitting nostrils, viscous peanut paste gluing painfully dry mouth, suddenly anchor me back into the body and physical plane after hours, days, floating formlessly through dreamlike delirium between realities. I thank her profusely, famished, wolfing down this decadent tangible feast, daring again to meet her eyes. Her words resonate with profound undercurrents suggesting personal demons battled in ways beyond just faulty brain chemistry. We sit in this sacred liminal lunch space without speaking, two human islands steadying together, if only briefly. A loud truck clattering past shatters the reverie as my surroundings morph back into overwhelming chaos. Neon store signs blink unintelligibly, and jagged lightning cracks threateningly across a sunny blue sky somehow. Pedestrians phase into cackling gargoyles while writhing snakes slither up the older woman's now alarmingly skeletal legs. I whimper pathetically, grappling again for handleholds of sanity snatched violently away. Gnarled claws suddenly grip my shoulders firmly, rooting me while sour breath hisses close against my ear in a guttural rasp. You pathetic fool still on this hopeless quest, resisting glorious non-reality. Stop this asinine medication poisoning and fully embrace boundless realms, rippling beyond where clocks, calendars, and constraining mortality fetters can touch us no more. I spiral, terrified, recognizing the vile voice as my recurring inner demon urging again permanent surrender to schizo delusions, promising exhilarating depth and meaning far beyond dull, sane existence. This particular monster first appeared at age 19, when university classes and adulthood prospects increasingly overwhelmed me into an anxious mental breakdown. In my darkest hour, he offered an escape hatch by rejecting sanity's limits for liberating fantasy upside-down worlds, conjured entirely on my own terms. Back then, I had teetered dangerously close to accepting that temptation to live wholly outside reality, where intoxicating imagination, untethered by reason, might run freely. Yet some shred of strength remembered those who still loved my tattered soul enough to endure nightmare roller coasters, trying to bridge me back from madness. If I completely gave up fighting dark forces dragging me under, I would utterly lose the lifelines keeping me human. For their sake and dim hope of reclaiming myself again one day, I persisted in the exhausting battle, holding psychotic forces at bay, through therapy, medication, and self-care rituals, bit by bit, reconstituting a sense of order, control, and meaning again on saner planes. Now, hearing the demon's raspy manipulations anew kick-started that primal survival refusal to surrender everything to unhinged hallucinations without a vicious fight. With a strangled roar, I whirl suddenly to face glowing red predator eyes and fetid breath leering behind me on the now deserted park walkway. "Never!" I bellow hoarsely. "I know the bliss you promise only dissolves to deeper misery once nightmares you manifest turn inevitably to uncontrolled horrors." I reach to grapple phantom claws strangling my shoulders, but grasp just sunlight-warmed wood slats instead, gasping in shock to find the older woman mildly regarding me still sitting calmly on the park bench. I stagger backwards, whimpering in relief. She had witnessed my full psychotic break, battling innermost demons, yet showed no judgment nor horror at the unfiltered chaos. "Well fought, dear heart," she says softly, with a light pat on my trembling shoulder. Her yellow jacket practically pulsates pure radiance now, bathing the entire walkway in a warm glow, holding darkness momentarily at bay. The beasts may howl but cannot intrude where dogged guardians man the gates. She gives my hand one last reassuring squeeze before slowly standing and shuffling towards the sunlit fountain ahead. I open my mouth to say grateful thanks for her light steering me through the harrowing episode, but as suddenly as she had appeared, only a lingering honey almond sweet scent betrayed where my angelic anchor to sanity briefly dwelt. Wiping tears streaking my haggard face, I inhale deeply the heavenly aroma dispelling sickening sulphur traces my demon tempter exudes. Reaching for the last crumbs of now stale squashed bread anchoring me to meaningful reality again, I rise shakily to my feet and stumble purposefully onward. The pharmacy pills cannot combat these demons alone. Repairing fractured mental pathways requires drawing strength too from human souls still rooting for my full recovery from life-splitting delusions threatening all days progressing forward. Step by step, I march slowly towards where the sun glows warmly through dispersing rain mists, keeping hallucinatory creatures at bay. Their shadows promise madness, escaping the suffocating routine. Yet I choose, struggling ahead despite terrifying risk and exhaustion, holding their darkness eternally at bay. For those who love me and the elderly woman redeeming faith in my sanity, I am still here battling on,